Hi everyone, Stacy here from Dies to Die For. Welcome to night 25 of the 25 Dies of Christmas. First of all, my family and I would like to wish you a Merry Christmas, and we really appreciate everyone who's watched our videos over the last 25 days. Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying your Christmas. I'm going to make the last card and try to do it quick so that you guys aren't spending your family time watching me. Hopefully, the hope is that you guys will play this later after your Christmas is over. But let's get started. Tonight we're making the Merry Christmas with the Capital Christ card. Thought that was appropriate. Okay, we're going to use our chicken wire background. And right now this chicken wire background we only have in the A2 size, but we are having it made in a slimline size. So tonight I'm just going to improvise and use the A2 size and cut it down, but pretty soon it will be available in the slimline size, just so you guys know. Okay, what I did with this is I cut it out in a white, and then I cut it out in a metallic silver. Then I went around the inside of the white, and I just snipped the little pieces off here. Kind of like that. That's just an idea. Snip them all the way around, and then I took my metallic silver piece and I glued my white right onto the top of that, so that all you see, all you see is the white frame and then the silver background, if you can see that. And then I took a red ink pad. I'm using the Simon Hurley Bee Sting ink, and I went around the edges. The inside of this you can go around before you glue it down if you want to. I didn't, because I like to do things the hard way, so I did that. And then I've already glued down my A2. My A2 card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so I've already glued my chicken wire piece down to that one. Then my slimline I'm using tonight is 4 inches by 8 1/2. When our die comes in for the slimlines, it will be 3 1/2 by 8 1/2, so you'll be able to do the smaller size slimline card if that's what you prefer. That's what I prefer. So now for this, I lined it up about, I cut 2 of them. I lined them up about where I thought I might want them. I'm going to take a marker if I can get the cap off. And kind of maybe line those up. And then kind of mark where I want to cut it. Like right across here. Okay, where did my scissors go? So I'm going to cut this piece straight. And just keep going straight across here. Okay, so there's that piece. Then I want to cut it so it's gonna line up you know what? Silly me, I did the wrong side. That's why it's not lining up. Make sure that you do the right side when you're trying to line them up, because this is now going to be over here, but that's all right. We'll make it work. So you're just going to want to cut this off where you had put those lines. I was just putting it back on there again to make sure that's where I wanted it cut. actually paid attention and put the one side the right way, then it would line up just perfectly like this. And these two pieces would line up, but I didn't. So we are going to make it work like this. Kind of like that. Let's get my glue. And I'm just going to put a few drops in the center to get this chicken wire mesh part to adhere down so it's not popping up all over the place. Put that down there. Get some glue on this piece. Squeezing my glue a little too hard right there. Okay. Now let's see if we can get that to line back up a little bit again and look okay. Still gonna look like it's off a little bit, but as long as you get the idea of what I'm trying to do. I lined it up much better on this card. If you can see how those line up. These pieces I didn't, just because I didn't cut this off, the back white off far enough. I should have cut that down a little bit more so that these butted up straight instead of overlapping. But I still like it. I still think it's fine. Oh, I wanted to show you another mistake that I made. Sometimes I will start laying my card out and not pay attention to what way my base card is. Don't be like me and don't put your card on the wrong way. I will fix this later and just cut this piece off and put it onto another card base. Hopefully the correct way this time, but I have made this mistake more than once. Just being a little honest there, but don't do that. Just pay attention to the way that you start gluing stuff down if you would like your card to open the correct way. And pay attention to the way the pieces are going that you would like to line up perfectly. See, this video is actually a what not to do video, just so you guys know in the future. All right. I didn't go around these in red, so I'm going to do it a little bit right now, just to add a little more color to that white frame. Okay, once that is done, and then I am also going to use our Christmas light border, but I'm going to make the garden, with the garden light bulbs this time. And I'm going to show you how I did that. I cut the strand out in white, and then I cut 8 of these bulbs for each strand out in white. Bring that over here, and I've already done part of this one, but you snip the little pointed part of the bulb, you snip it off right there, so this piece is gone and you're just left with that. And then I'm going to take some of my Slippery When Wet Simon Hurley ink and take these little 8 bulbs that I already cut out and just give them a little bit of a yellow cast to them, like they're lit up. And I was telling my husband earlier when I was doing this, I like the pattern that this is leaving too. I might use this for a stencil someday, see? Make it look like concert lights or something. Kind of cool. If you do a lot of them like I did earlier, I had the whole sheet done and some of them were overlapping. Anyway, just another tip. And we're going to take our glue and glue each light onto the strand, just like that. And you have your garden light strand. I could have used the regular Christmas lights, but I just wanted to switch it up a little bit. Give them some of those bigger light bulbs or bigger bulbs. Okay, now that we got that down, and those are all built for me somewhere. I have them somewhere around here. Then I'm going to take our poinsettia die, and this idea I actually got from My Life in My Craft Room. She took our smaller, did I say poinsettia? I meant holly, whatever I said. Anyway, she took our smaller holly and she made a poinsettia out of it on one of her cards. I thought that was a pretty neat idea, so I'm going to take the bigger holly leaves and make a poinsettia out of them. Here's one that I already have done, and I have one that I have started. I'm going to move this one over here because this one's for here. So how I made the poinsettia is I just took 8 of the holly leaves and I started laying them around in kind of a circle. So I already have 4 of them together here. Let's add the other 4. And kind of arrange them where you want them. Once you get those on there and move them around to wherever you're going to want them, I think I want this one up a little. Then I held them down in the center and I just flipped each petal up, or each leaf. Poinsettias are plants, right? So these are not petals. These would be just leaves that have turned red. From what I understand, I'm no plant expert, but actually I'm far from it. I'm very lucky if I can grow anything or keep anything alive. Except for at our warehouse. For some reason, the flowers there, just I can get them to grow and thrive. Quite impressed with myself. I've never been able to grow anything in my entire life. Okay, I'm going to glue the 4 that I already had together down to the 4 I just did. Then if you get the glue just on the poinsettia, then you can pick it up and move it around. Say if you put it together and it wasn't quite centered, you can move it over a little bit wherever you want it. That's why I didn't just glue them directly on, because I wanted to be able to concentrate on making it more of a poinsettia shape or rounder shape than concentrate on where I had it on my card. Then I took the center from my actual poinsettia die and I cut it out in silver for this, and then we're going to make another smaller poinsettia with the medium-sized holly leaves, and I cut the center of our small poinsettia die out for that. You could use the berries and cut them out in silver on the holly and berry and just stack them. I didn't do that because I didn't want to waste everyone's time watching me cut each little berry out, and I just wanted something quick. I want to be able to get you guys back to your family because you should be spending Christmas with them. I don't want to take up all of your time. Okay, now I think I'm ready to glue this poinsettia down. I'm just going to put some glue in the center. I don't want it around the edges because I'm going to tuck some pine needles down behind that. This one doesn't go on this card, but while I'm doing that one, I'm going to glue the poinsettia onto the slimline card as well. Hold it down for a minute. While I do that, I'm going to come over here and get some of my pieces that I already have on my adhesive sheets. And then on both cards, we're going to be using the largest cross out of the 3 wooden crosses die. So I don't have to show you that. And we're also going to be using the Merry Christmas with the capital Christ word. There, I think I've showed you all the dies now. I don't have anything to remember to show you, right? Let's take some pine needles and kind of tuck them behind the leaves. On the A2, I tried to put the larger pine needles both on the top here. There was a little more room. This side, I'm going to put my wooden cross back there first and then tuck the pine needle in front of it. So, I think down a little maybe. Right there. Let's find another large pine needle. That one up there. That one in there. I'm going to tuck that one in there so you can see it on both sides of that leaf. And then I think one more. That one right there. Just so it's kind of surrounded by pine. We're going to take our Merry Christmas capital Christ word. And this is one of our most popular dies, along with the holly and berry. So this die, when we get it in, we tend to sell out of very quickly. So the holly and berry and our round ornaments we do too. So if we get it in and you see it in stock, if you really want it, you should order it. We do have some in stock right now. Holly and berry, we have some, but we're almost sold out. I'm just trying to get my webbing out of there. Yes, I'm going to use my scissors because I don't know where my pick tool is right now. Dang, webbing. Okay. Then the Merry Christmas word, I offset a little bit so that it was just on that cross, on the side of that cross. Over this way. Then the last step is going to be to take one of our garden lights, and it doesn't, I don't know if this card necessarily needs the garden lights. Get that, I'm taking this one. I don't know if it needs the garden lights, but when I start a card, I have certain ideas in my head sometimes. And sometimes it's really hard to see the card without that on it. My husband said that he liked it without the garden lights, but I already had that vision in my head and I wanted to follow through on it. So if you don't want the garden lights, don't use them. I just like the extra element that it adds. Put a little adhesive on these lights, and this light strand for the A2 card, I just snipped pieces off and made them fit into where I wanted them to. Because it is a smaller card, I didn't want to use an entire strand and overwhelm the card. Cut that off. Nope, you're not stuck down yet. Cut that off. Then I'm gonna probably take this little loop here and glue that down. So it just makes it look like the light strand is weaving up and then back down a little and then back over here. Let's see. Those two lights right there. But I don't need this that long. There's that. And then I took the other pieces and kind of tucked them back under the poinsettia. Just so that element continued down here also. Then I want another one on this side, so I'm gonna snip a piece off of one of my other lights that I have waiting. I always make extra for that reason. Let's see, let's tuck this back here a little. Right there. Okay, there is the A2 card. Now let's work on the slimline card. We already have this poinsettia glued down. We have to take our pine pieces, and for this card I only put 3 pine pieces tucked behind these needles. You could do more if you wanted. And then also on this card, I did not put the lights down at the bottom, but again, it's your card. You want to put some more lights on it, go ahead. You don't want to put lights on it, don't put lights on it. I'm going to snip this poinsettia off real quick too, while I'm working down here on the bottom. Today we're working from bottom to top, so let's put this cross in here. And see, I can place that cross perfectly so that it will cover up most of that chicken wire that I messed up on. We're going to take the Merry Christmas capital Christ word again. And actually, I think this needs a little bit more glue on it because a lot of that Adhesive didn't stick to it this time. I think I pulled it off too fast. When you pull stuff like this off of the adhesive sheet, instead of just pulling it directly up, it helps if you pull it at a little more of an angle, then more of the adhesive seems to stay on. Put this right about there, seems good to me. Get it glued down, good. And then I thought up in these top two corners, it needed a little something, so I built a small poinsettia using I have some small silver inside somewhere, but anyway, I built a small poinsettia using the medium size holly, and I'm going to put my pine needles down over here first. I'm going to put one over on this side and then two on the other corner. Don't ask me why. I could have done them all the same, but I wanted to mix it up a little bit, I guess. It was just the kind of mood I was in. Do things a little different. Okay, let's glue this poinsettia on this side. And then when I can find that this little silver piece, when I can find that I cut off of the small poinsettia again, I will glue that right in the center of this. Until then, we're moving on to the next steps. And then on this side, I didn't want to put another full poinsettia, so I just put a few leaves. And then in this very corner, I put another of the silver pieces, so that I will add onto there when I find it too. It has to be somewhere around here because I just had it right before I hit play. Where did you go? I didn't put them on my adhesive sheets, and they're not under my mat, so oh, I found them. I guess I put them over here to be glued. Okay, let's put one over there and one in the center here. Hold those down for a minute. Then our last step on this card is going to be taking a strand of lights and running it along the top of the card. You don't need the entire strand. Oh boy, those lights just did not want to come off, did they? Okay. Now, let's see what way works best for this. I think maybe like this. So it droops down a little bit under that poinsettia. And then maybe go down a little bit